Welcome to Arc Salt Lake on your Thursday morning. Time right now is 7 o'clock. We're starting this morning with wildfire season. It has been a brutal one across the state of Utah, and it started pretty early. One of the biggest, the Cottonwood fire in Beaver County, near the town of Beaver as well. Eagle Point Resort, that was one of the areas hardest hit by this fire, and we've learned just recently that they won't be opening for this upcoming winter season. Joining me right now is Shane Gadbaw, owner of Eagle Point. Shane, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lincoln. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Shane, talk to us about how the rest of the resort staff, how those who live in the community, how you have tried to come to terms with what has happened so far this wildfire season.
Well, it's been a battle. It seems like every day there's a new twist in the story. First it was the fire, then the flood that came after the fire, and then there were really a couple of weeks where we had no access. We just want to get started with the recovery. We want to start cleaning up. We want to think about the future. It's just been tough on everyone at Eagle Point and everyone in Beaver County.
We did learn recently that you all won't be opening for this upcoming winter season. For those who maybe aren't tuned into the fine details of why, explain why you won't be able to open this season.
Lincoln, where do I start? What brought us to make the decision was the fact that we determined that the haul ropes on the lifts, have been compromised. They need to be replaced, and those take months, and they're manufactured overseas. So even if everything else came together, even if we figured out a winter access from the back way up Highway 153, we knew we wouldn't have lifts, to run the ski operation. So that was really the threshold factor that made us do the call.
And then talk about the access too, how that is also a major issue.
The front is completely washed out. Everyone's seen the images of that. So the back way, Highway 153 from Junction, which is an unpaved, it's a pretty gnarly road. It's the only way up now. So that'll have to do for us to manage the cleanup phase, which we've just started now. But it makes everything more challenging, more expensive, more complicated to bring up the back way.
And can you review with us what structures at the resort were damaged or destroyed?
Sure. I think the most significant was the community itself. We lost 145 condos and cabins, which represent 145 families that called Eagle Point their home or their second home. So that's the most significant. The resort was damaged heavily. We lost the Canyonside Lodge. That's the place where we all come together and eat and dine after the ski day. That's the kind of headquarters of the condo village. And then 4 of the 5 chairlifts sustained pretty serious damage as well. We still don't know the extent of it because access has been challenging to get them, the various engineers up that will help us understand the damage.
You mentioned all of the homes that were lost, and it is true that some people did live there year-round. This was their community. This is where they lived. It wasn't just a second home for some people. Not saying the loss of a second home isn't devastating as well, but how has that part of the community tried to deal with all of this?
It's been very difficult. They've been dislocated. Some of them live in trailers now. Many of them were my employees that lived on the mountain, or they were construction workers, who made a living up here. They all lost their homes. They've all had to relocate. The Beaver County's been amazing. There's been a huge effort by the community to help those displaced workers. That was really one of the first actions that needed to take place and after the fire and before the flood. So it's sad. It's hard to, it's hard to gather when, we're having a Zoom call in a trailer and someone else is in, a temporary homes in Cedar City. And so it really displaced all of us as a resort.
You won't be opening this upcoming season. Is there a path forward that you're seeing to where you would be ready for the next ski season?
I hope so. At this point, we all are hoping and praying that UDOT will finish the project to repair the road from Beaver. They've given every assurance that it's their highest priority. They've fast-tracked it as much as they can. And so we just we can only focus on on our side of things. So for us, it's clean up as much as we can this year, so we don't have to clean up next year when we can get back up there, because we'll need to fix the lifts, we'll need to fix the forest, and those are the jobs that need to get done before we can safely open to the public again. But we do have a plan to open for the next ski season, the 27-28 ski season, assuming that UDOT road is done.
If people did purchase passes and things like that, talk about their options now that this upcoming season won't be happening.
Sure. I mean, the first option is a full refund, and we've sent a communication out to our pass holders. The second would be to just push it forward to the 27-28 season. And then finally, for anyone who wants to donate, we will issue their refund. And then if they want to donate to the Beaver Tough Foundation, that's beavertuf.org. That's an option, an option for anyone who's willing.
Shane, we had a representative from Eagle Point on this show, Arc Salt Lake. In the last couple of years, we were highlighting all ski resorts throughout Utah. Can you talk about how Eagle Point fits into the Utah ski community as a whole and sort of the unique niche it fills?
Sure. I mean, Eagle Point it plays the role of a small ski area, and the small ski areas are critical at starting off our youth into the sport. So, we like to think of Eagle Point as one of the best places in the West to learn to ski and snowboard, because it's affordable, it's uncrowded, it has the terrain that's suitable for learning the sport. But it's not just that. We have some of the best steeps in the state, and so it's just a resort that is a throwback to how skiing used to be before the current age of the mega resorts, and that's an experience that a lot of people enjoy.
Obviously, ski resorts, just given the nature of where they're located, they are at risk of wildfire all across this country. I mean, there are multiple ski resorts right now under evacuation orders across the West because of wildfires. Was wildfire always a fear for you as owner of Eagle Point?
Absolutely. Everyone that we're close with all the Forest Service personnel as well, and so we all had that same fear. This was a canyon and a mountain range that hadn't burned for a very long time. So, we always feared it would happen. We never feared it would be at this scale.
Talk about the resilience, though. I know there's still a lot of difficulty to go through, but are you finding that your staff, your employees, your neighbors are showing a good amount of resilience? How have you seen that?
We certainly are. I think my team and I, we're the most far along in the recovery, in terms of our planning and our, how we spend our days. We have certainly the most positive attitude. It's very difficult, though, because it's just a sea of sorrow all around us in the community of Beaver and the community of Eagle Point. I think that's important for us to have that positive attitude, that commitment to recovery, and that resilience that kind of leads the way on this challenging road ahead of us.
And finally, what does damaged terrain, what does that mean for operations going forward?
Well, behind me is the old Eagle Point on my filter there. All of those trees are now just standing burned spines, and all of them are extremely dangerous. They could blow over with light winds and hurt somebody. So that all of them have to be removed. There is a project underway. It's a little too early to talk about it, but there's a state and federal collaboration that seems to be coming together to treat the private area around Eagle Point. Not just Eagle Point Resort, but everyone up here. Beaver County has a large parcel. Many private owners have parcels to treat those, so it's not dangerous, and that is a precondition to opening as well. And we think that that's probably it's got the most momentum to happen, even though it's completely out of our control.
Okay, Shane Gadbaw, owner of Eagle Point Resort, we really appreciate your time. I know you're going through a lot right now, so thank you so much for talking about this with us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you, Lincoln.